Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So this AFK journey video will be a discussion video where I address two topics which I want to talk about in this video and share my opinions and my thoughts, and then you guys can share with me your opinions, thoughts or feedbacks for me moving forward with regards to the 2 points which I mentioned. So if be it feedbacks for my future guide videos, for my future contents, be it guides, be it feedback for how to improve the game, so that if somebody who is related to the developer sees my video, they can check the comment section and write down some notes on their notepad or something. Also, that's the disclaimer. Let's start with the first point which I want to talk about, which is this mental health issue, right? This impact of the season on gaming and mental health. We have had a lot of people quit the game because the season felt like an immense pressure to constantly keep up. Didn't play for a day? Sucks to be you. Enjoy your 15 resonance levels gap. Struggling to climb AFK to get noble path levels? Too bad, you just missed out on another 200k EXP books. I understand the game is different for everyone and you have a choice to decide how much time and other means you want to spend on it, but this season has burned out so many high level players and even whales because it felt like you had to play 4 to 6 hours a day, pushing as hard as you can. And when you desync with the majority of the guild, you lose part of your sense of purpose or perhaps how you want to contribute, but now feel you are lacking. Okay, so I'll address this part with regards to mental health and stress. So Song of Strife brought a lot of new contents, and a lot of contents which are tied to progression, which are tied to the power level of your account, which are tied to how much damage you can do, right? How much contribution you can do for your guild. So yes, in a sense, there will be pressure if you chose to be in a competitive server, if you choose to be in a competitive guild, there'll always be a pressure for you to want to keep up. Like whether or not it's AFK journey, right? Whether or not it's any other game with a guild feature or a PvP feature, there will always be a pressure to keep up. So my advice for this will be to set a personal agenda, your personal motivation, so that you can pace yourself from there, right? Like for example, before I was recognized for my AFK journey contents, I played the game at my own pace. I didn't really care about the rankings as much as I built different units. I built off-meta units because I wanted to try and error with different account builds. And I want to show people that, hey, there's more than one way to play the game than your usual CCR and then whatever units there were in the meta, right? So I did have fun by experimentation, because experimenting makes things fun for me. And at the same time, I think playing 4 to 6 hours a day is, I'll say, a slight exaggeration. Maybe 4 to 6 hours a day at the start, but I think as the contents get harder and harder, right? Honestly speaking, if you can't pass the stage, you are pretty much stuck there. You can't push. Like, it's just about spending money and spending time, right? So if you're not spending that much money to get the power up, then you are stuck there. So I don't think you need 4 to 6 hours on a daily basis to grind, because every other game mode, as far I can see, Dream Realm, you only need one sitting, right? 90 seconds, you're done. You are spamming Dream Realm because you're min-maxing for better scores. But if you're playing at your own pace, it's 1 run per day, 90 seconds. Then for Arena, 5 tickets, 7 tickets max, and then you're done. If you don't really care too much about the ranking, 7 tickets is also done within 5 to 10 minutes as well. So that's that. And then if you take a look at Supreme Arena is only like for 3 attacks, right? The rest of the other attacks cost you gems, which I think most people wouldn't spend, and it also doesn't take a lot of time. So I think the only place where you actually spend a lot of time on is not the different battle modes, but rather in terms of the open world progression as well as the AFK challenge progression, because these are probably the more time consuming part, as you need to sit down, right, strategize how to clear the stage, how to plan the levels of your units, how you want to allocate your resources. So this part, I agree, is quite time consuming. For me, usually I'll say I spend 1 to 3 hours on a daily basis to progress on both this account, which is my free to play account on PTR server, as well as my main account. So I think with regards to the mental health part, instead of just focusing on the game, you can also focus on the community aspects. Community in the form of guild discords or content creator discords or official discords, where you just hang out in the game, discuss stuff about the game and have fun and not be so worried about keeping up. So keeping up, it will be a thing. Like as long as there's PvP elements, as long as you're competing against other people, there will be this pressure to keep up. And if you cannot keep up, then I suggest that you slow down, right, and play the game at your own pace, because I think AFK Journey is perfectly fine to be played at your own pace, right? If you're not so bothered about, oh, I need to be top 1, I need to be top 10 and stuff. But that brings me to the next point, which is also mentioned here. Like the second part mentioned, the end result, there will be an entire season of content drought and we have to wait until September. So what we think will come out of that, exactly, people will quit long before the season has ended due to content drought. So that's the thing. Like if you don't introduce contents for people to push, there will be content drought, and I believe more people will quit rather than having too much content to play, right? If there's no content, I think more people will quit compared to having too much content for people to push. So I've seen people complain about having too much to push, but at the same time, I see more people complain about having nothing to do. So once you are done with AFK stages, once you're done with the story mode, honestly speaking, there's nothing for you to do. Your late game will be just fiddling with your Dream Realm teams, fiddling with your Arena team, and I think you guys have been through the cycle in the original story, and this is probably what will happen in the seasonal content as well. So for now, I think the grind is the initial part, which could be very, very time consuming. But as far as I can observe at where I am for my main account, the daily grind has slowed down quite a bit, because at some levels, there's just no way for you to push at your current power level. Like they have some sort of leveling mechanism built in, which is sort of like a gating system, which is mentioned here. More time gating and normalization of progress could help a lot. We will creep towards endgame level. Dream Realm fights will be auto-click. AFK will be a bore. If we are done leveling, what will the season bring? Where will the drive come from to improve? Okay, so this part I believe is already there. So I mentioned earlier that as the stages get harder, right, there's just no way for you to push with whatever levels your unit are at due to the proficiency deficit. So proficiency deficit is a way for them to gate you, is a way for them to slow you down, and they already did some gating with regards to the resonance level, right, for the chapters itself to slow people down. So they are trying their best, but at the same time, I think they are also doing a good job in terms of the gating, because I feel that the gating is just right, that people can push to keep up while not slowing people who wants to push as much as possible, because you basically cannot please everyone, right? There will always be people who are hardcore about contents. There will be people that just want to have it chill, or people who just doesn't have that much time for the contents. So if you're asking me of my personal perspective with regards to this, if I'm the developer, I'll probably focus on people who are more hardcore in the game, because they want to push contents. I will give them more content, right? It's unfortunate, but it is the case, because like the game needs players, and I think more people will quit if there's nothing to do than having too much to do. So that's just my personal take. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys feel, and whether or not this is something that you guys face, whether or not it's something that you guys see in your server, or whether or not your server is so chill that it doesn't concern you, right? So I would love to hear from other people as well. So my personal take on this is that I think this game is perfectly fine as it is. It's more of what kind of personal agenda you set for yourself, and what you hope to achieve out of the game. So for this part, I can talk about myself, like what's my current personal agenda, and you know how I'm allocating my time to prepare for my agendas or prepare for the contents which I want to put out. So the number one agenda obviously is for the channel, right? Whatever content I can push through is whatever content I can show you guys. So there's this personal motivation for me to push through as much as possible, to push through to the higher stages, so that I can show you guys what to expect for yourself in the future. So there is a personal bias, there is a channel bias for me, but that is a motivation which pushes me to play the game more. But at the same time, I will also set aside, I'll say like a period where if I'm pushing through contents and I'm stuck, I'll be like, okay, screw it, let's lock out and then come back later on to do. So that way you won't be always stuck in this endless cycle where, shit, can I do this, can I do this, can I do this? Like there's some stage you have to know that if you cannot clear, you cannot clear. Simple as that, right? Don't waste time, come back later once your units are stronger, then you will be able to push through. So that is how I usually play this game, right? If I'm stuck, I'm stuck. I won't go and sit down for 2 hours and then go and study how to push through. And I will focus more on the technical side of things rather than just copy pasting from other people, because my way of enjoying the game is to figure things out myself. My way is to be creative, to discover new stuff, and that's where I find fun. So these are the few ways I have for my personal agendas, my personal motivation. So this personal agenda or motivation is different for different people, and you guys got to find your own one so that it keeps you motivated to play the game. I think it applies pretty much for every other games out there. Like, there'll always be games where, you know, you have to keep up with the pacing. There'll also be very chill games. So depending on whether or not you want to be a chill player or whether or not you want to be a hardcore player, this mentality and this mental health thing will be different for different people. So yeah, that's my personal take on this mental health side. So let me know, right, with regards to your own points in the comment section down below, obviously as amicable as possible, right? Then this also brings me to my second point, which is with regards to my future F2P guides, future F2P contents, because recently I released a whole slew of free-to-play videos with regards to some bosses and stuff, and then I have people complaining in the comment section or just mentioning in the comment section that, hey Zeep, you're using a PTR account, you know, not everyone has this amount of collection, not every free-to-play account, in fact no free-to-play account will have this amount of collection at this stage, which I completely agree. But as mentioned earlier, right, there's so many contents to do, and there's so many things to do in a game that it's already very tough to run 2 accounts concurrently, and I don't see a need for me to run a 3rd account, and that's why I don't touch Zeebo as much, because this account still has Rowan's tag intact, and this account is very free to play. Like, there's nothing spent. So if I go by the definition of free to play, this account fits the bill, and I've been playing this account for so long, and as you guys can see, a lot of time and effort has been put into this account, so I don't see a need for me to drop it just to make another free to play account to do my guides. Because for my free to play guides, right, I'll say personally, I don't sell people a copy paste comp. I sell people the idea of how to build a team based on what they have. So that is how I enjoy the game, and that is how I want people who follow my content enjoy the game. So if you're somebody who just wants to go to a content creator and copy paste their team comp and then you're done with it, then I guess maybe this channel is not something that is for you, right? I usually tell people my suggestions. I tell people what are some of the alternatives that you can use, and I believe that every account is built differently and everyone will find their best scores or best results based on what they have. So the only thing that applies to the meta teams is if you have the ability to get the units, right? As a free-to-play player, you won't have the ability to get everything that is meta. So obviously, you play the game based on your account and get the best results based on whatever best combination you have. Meta teams or the most powerful teams or my best teams, most of the time they will apply more so to the spenders, because those are best teams I have best based on my main account, which is obviously an account where I spend money on. And that's why I also understand people when they see the account like, where's your free to play guy? So I understand, but for the free to play guys, which I title as free to play, they will be benchmarked to this account because I just don't have time for another account. And I just don't have the energy to run through everything once again, especially within this 4-month span, because everything is going to get resetted, and I'll be doing this so many times that I'll buff out and quit the game because of burnout, so I'm not going to do it. Okay, so moving forward, this will probably be the benchmark for free to play, and especially for my free to play viewers, if you guys have any feedbacks for me so that I can improve on the free to play content quality, let me know, right? If it's with regards to this account being not free to play, then I'm sorry, I can't help you guys, because I got my own mental health to take care of. So I don't think I'll commit to Zeebo too much, because it's just gonna be a chore if I continue playing it anyway. So that's that. And if you guys feel that, hey, this Zeebo guy free to play guide is shit, don't make it, okay, let me know down in the comment section below as well. So maybe I'll just skip on all the free to play guides. I'll just focus on latest contents as well as optimal team builds and meta team builds, so that people can see what they want to see based on what they want from my channel. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just open discussion video on 2 topics which I want to talk about. At the end of the day, I think everyone has their own rights to play the game their own way. I have my own way of playing the game, and usually when I make content, I make it based on how I play the game. So whatever I preach in my guides or my videos are basically things I do myself as well. So I do hope that whatever I like did in my contents or my videos are helpful for people, although sometimes not everyone will agree with my contents or the titling of my videos, but it is what it is, right? It is YouTube, so that's something which I have to clarify. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more AFK journey contents. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.